Welcome, friends, to our meditation time. As you get comfortable in the spot where you are, just pause and think to yourself what this practice means to you. What this ritualistic way of showing up into this present moment really means to you. I often ask when I'm teaching a physical yoga class for folks to think about their why, and I would ask you here in meditation, what is your why? Just name it to yourself, and if you're not completely sure, just be open each time you show up and see if that why, that reason, becomes a little clearer. And so as your eyes begin to close and all the distractions around you can be lessened just a bit, let's find some gentle, calming breath together. So a slow, deep breath in, and then very gently exhale it out. And a slow breath in, and a gentle breath out. One more together, breathing in, and gently release. And just see if you can maintain this gentle flow of the breath in and the breath out. Almost like you can picture this very calm, easy way that the water comes onto the shore and then it's pulled back out to sea. And so just find your breath in that same gentle ebb and flow, and allow it to really usher you into the space where you are, into this moment that we're sharing. And so for a few days, I want us to stay on this journey of asking the question of who am I? Who am I? Not this way of asking where you look up to the sky or to the heavens and you kind of shake your fist and you're looking for an answer to be written up in the clouds. Not that kind of question, but the kind of question of this deep internal soul search. We can't look up into the clouds. We can't look into the faces of other people. We got to look deep in our souls. We have to peer so deeply beyond the flesh and the emotions and the scars and the trauma and the milestones of life. We got to look beyond those, peel them away, and really get down to the core of us as we ask that question. Because if we ask it on a surface level, this metaphorical looking up for this radiant sky, chances are our thinking mind is going to convince us of something different than the true answer to that question. We'll get distracted by the labels that the world places on us. We'll get distracted by all these impressions that we've lived with for decades. So let's make this question a soul question. That's what Deepak Chopra calls it, a soul question. Meaning I can't answer it for you and you can't answer it for me. It is so deep and so personal. Who am I? And as we sit with that question today, I want to go back to one of the places where I feel some of the most inspiration and where I have for many, many years. In the lyrics of certain songs. I think there's something beautiful about the creative process of this songwriter who sees this image of this melody, this story that can be told through music. And maybe I'm so enamored by it or so just in awe of it because it's not my gift, it's not my strength. But I can most definitely appreciate when someone has dug deep into their soul and was able to pen words and notes and create these songs that bless us every time we hear them. We all have those in our memory, in our playlist, these songs that when they come on, you get a little catch in your throat and you realize there's more than just words and beats. There is a deep story being told. And when you pause and you feel that, you realize that story is connecting to you. And I feel that way every time I hear or I play the song, I Am Light by Arie. I've never met her. I don't know her personally. I know her story enough to know that she didn't just pen words that rhymed and that fit with the melody. She dug deep. She dug deep into her story and then even deeper down into her soul. She gave us this beautiful song about who we are, but also who we're not. I feel honored that she and I both have the same meditation teacher. We walked a path with the same teacher at different times of the calendar year. But knowing that she's walked the same journey as I have, it makes these words even more special. Because again, I know she didn't just find the rhyme or think what would sell an album. She dug deep. And so I would invite you just to listen to these first words where she describes who we're not. Because there's a chance that as we ask the question of who am I, we're gonna get distracted by all the things that we're not. Some of it we've been conditioned to believe. And so I hope we'll just pause. Let these words that she has shared with us just really sit with you and help you find the meaning of who you're not as we start and continue the search of who we are. She says, I am not the things that my family did. I'm also not the voices in my head. And I'm not the pieces of the brokenness inside me. So let me just pause there. I'm not the things that my family did. I'm not the voices in my head. And I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside of me. Then she goes on to say, I'm also not the mistakes that I've made. And I am not the things that have caused me pain. And I am also not these pieces of these dreams that I've left behind. I'm not the mistakes that I have made. And I'm not any of these things that have caused me pain. And I am not the pieces of these dreams that I left behind. And then she goes a little deeper. And it sounds almost like she's talking about surface level things, but think about how we see each other in the world, how we describe each other. She says, I'm not the color of my eyes, and I'm not the skin on my outside. I'm not my age, and I'm not my race. And then she repeats again and again and again. I'm light. I am light. My soul inside of me is all light. I am light. And I think this is such a beautiful reminder that when we ask this question of who am I, we're not looking for some finite noun or some term that gives us a role or assigns us something to do. Asking who we are, looking into our soul, is going back to that moment of creation and that first breath that we took. And the essence of this divine presence that is within each one of us. And seeing that it's light. And yes, we all have eye color, and we have skin and race, and we have baggage and pain and mistakes. And we've got our families, good or bad or indifferent. But when you strip away all those pieces, we were divinely created, and that divine presence still exists within us, and it is light. So I'd like us to just pause and sit with her words, her reminders, not how the world describes us, and honestly, not how we've described ourselves, many of us for a long time. But peer a little deeper and see, can you really believe that you are light? If you've ever ended a yoga class with the word namaste, you've said, the light in me sees and honors the light in you by that one word. And when you say that, you're saying, I know I'm light. I feel it. I see it. I claim it. And I see it in you. So let's just pause. Each of us, with that divine light within, see if we can notice it, if we can feel it. I hope that you're continuing that gentle ebb and flow of your breath. And as our time prepares to close, I want to go back to these words just one more time. But instead of me saying the I that she has pinned, because I do believe these things about myself, I want to say these things to you. And maybe if they're said often enough, you'll begin to believe them. You are not the things that your family has done. You are not the voices in your head. You are not the pieces of the brokenness that's inside of you. You are light. You are not the mistakes that you've made. You are not any of those things that have caused you pain. And you are not pieces of dreams that have been left behind. You are light. You're not the color of your eyes. You're not your skin on the outside. You are not your age. You are not your race. Your soul inside is all light. You are light. And the light in me truly sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.